Hey, Dave. I'm having some fun. This is kind of cool. There's a neat little puzzle here. This is a water bottle cap you sent me. What I find looking at this is that we've got from tip to tip to tip of the threads down inside here, it's 150 thousandths per thread. Die. Anyway, what's interesting though isn't the thread. So here's just an example of a normal thread. Peak, 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 peak. These are buttress threads. So they're straight on the back, angled on the front. So I'm going to have to get my buttress threading insert, and then I set my lathe so that it moves over 150 thousandths per revolution. So then the only thing, I've checked the diameter across the top here. Well, then the last question is, well, how deep do you go, right? When I'm cutting these threads, not those threads, because we're going to make buttress threads. To determine that, I'm going to get a couple little pins, and I'll lay the pin in the thread here, and I'll lay a pin in the thread there, and then I'll measure across the pins, like there, so that I'll know how deep I need to make approximately this area. And this area doesn't matter, because, I can look down in there and see it's actually kind of blunt in the bottom, but I've got enough room here on the inside, so I'll just make that, it'll come to a tip, whereas right now they kind of do that. Doesn't matter. Mine will come down to the tip. But then all I need to do is just make multiple passes, taking off about 5 thousandths at a time, till I get down to the point where my two little pins laid in there and the other side down here, and I can set my caliper across them and get whatever number that turns out to be. Now the actual diameter of this, we could look up and get the official blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter as long as it's laid in there the same on both sides, and I can put my caliper across it and read it, and then just make my passes until it matches. But anyway, I just share that because I know you like seeing the process and seeing how things are made, not just what is made. But it's just curious that they felt that this needed to be a buttress thread. Can you see in there? Can you see that that's actually flat on the back and point and angled on the front? But that's a buttress thread. And buttress threads are normally used in hydraulic applications where it's going to have a lot of forces coming from this direction, in this case. So it is odd that they felt that this was going to be stressed enough it needed a buttress thread, not a really simple traditional thread. So in the US and metric, this is a 60-degree angle. And on the British stuff, Whitworth, that's a 55-degree angle, which is why, like your British motorcycles and British cars, you have to be real fussy about your fasteners. Oh, and that reminds me, here, right over here. Hold that thought. Because these are Whitworth wrenches. So if you do use British fasteners, look at that, 3/16. And you look across there, and that's way more than 3/16 across there. Well, yeah, because they measure the diameter of the shaft of the bolt rather than across the head. So there's 450,000 or 445 thousandths across there, but it's labeled a 3/8 inch. But these are Whitworth wrenches. So whenever I'm working on a British motorcycle or a British car, I use these Whitworth wrenches. Not many people even have them anymore because even the British have gone to metric fasteners now. There's really not much point to this. So this is for foolish people that work on obscure British things. But anyway, just thought I'd give you a little eyeball as to what I'm doing, just 'cause it's cool. The other thing I was thinking about doing, which is the cap, which is the latch. And so I'm going to do this two ways just because I love the challenge. I wanted to take a piece of brass, just thin brass, like 20 thousandths thick brass, and form that around here, and then do a little nip, nip, and bend to recreate this lip here so it would latch on, and you just have a little brass ring around here, which it all looks simple. You go, oh, that's all you do, and then until you try to form the brass to make it fit just right. So, but anyway, this is way less stress, and I enjoy little puzzles like this. I'm enjoying this way more than actual things going on in my life. Because, kid in college, and Sam, of course, with special needs, and then my son, and that's just life in general, how stuff goes. Hope all's well with you. Just thought I'd give you a little rundown. Thought you'd enjoy that. Take care, buddy. We'll see you.